This is the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What's going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Show. We are here for the Wednesday 10-game main slate. James, we only have a couple of games on Thursday, 2 to be precise, with the MLB opening day. I'm assuming the NBA decided to just load up the Wednesday slate the day before MLB opening day. 10 games on the main slate, 2 other games going on later, 7 to 8 p.m. is what we got going on here for this 10-game Wednesday slate. Couple teams on back-to-back, some big matchups here to look at. Injuries, of course, continue to kind of be the headline story, as you know, ins and outs will be for the next couple of weeks as we finish out the regular season here. My friend, how are we doing?
Doing pretty well. Fun night of basketball on Tuesday. Big slate on Wednesday. A couple teams on back-to-backs, headlined by OKC and the Lakers. That would probably make sense as to why we saw LeBron sit on the front end of a back-to-back. And we'll see if OKC decides to do anything. I don't know if they will or not, considering they're the 2 seed.
Golden State on the second leg of a back-to-back.
Golden State on the second leg of a back-to-back. And I believe
that's it. Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be an interesting slate. We'll see who's in, who's out. I mean, we saw on Monday, that was the craziest slate we've had yet in terms of news. I mean, it was something as a content provider. It is just imperative. I don't know how many times we have to say it, but it is just simply imperative that you stay hip to the news, and that's really all I got. And
pray we get some continued late swap availability, right? Because
I just don't think there is. It's just a bad product if they don't, right? Like at this point, it just can't be the case.
Yeah.
And for you guys, like make sure you're locked into the update section in the playbook, because like I had maybe more names in that section than I did in the regular core play section on Monday. So just be on the lookout for that. Heading into Wednesday's month.
Yeah, and on Tuesday's slate, we didn't know if Luka Doncic was going to play or not after the midday downgrade. He ends up being ruled in for that slate. So if you had the ability to maneuver, you probably got some low roster to Luka Doncic possibly in your lineup tonight. So we'll see how it all goes. As I mentioned, 10 games here from 7 to 8. So a lot of action jammed in at the same time. Cleveland, Charlotte at home getting 10.5, 207.5. game total. Golden State, Orlando, as you mentioned, Orlando's on the second leg of a back-to-back here. Orlando's giving 6.5, 217.5 there. Brooklyn, Washington, Wizards getting 2.5 at home, 225.5 total. Portland, Atlanta giving 11, 214.5. Clippers, Sixers getting 6 at home, 218. Knicks, Raptors at home getting 13 with a 209 total. Pacers, Bulls getting 3. 233.5 total there for them at home. Lakers, Grizzlies, as you mentioned, Lakers on a back-to-back. I don't have a total here. Do you have a total for them, James?
Lakers, I have nothing.
Yep, I imagine they don't have anything because we don't know the LeBron status there, or Memphis for the most part. We never know who's playing for them these days.
And the Lakers in overtime, and currently. Anthony Davis is at 46 minutes. D'Angelo Russell's at 45 minutes, and Austin Reeves at 42 minutes. So who knows who's playing? Who's playing for the Lakers in this?
Could have a LeBron by himself in this matchup against Memphis. That'd be
fun.
Detroit, Minnesota Timberwolves giving 14.5 at home, 214 total. Houston, OKC, as we mentioned, the Thunder, second leg of a back-to-back here. They're giving 7, 230.5. They had a big lead for a little bit on the Pelicans there, and then they lost.
And they did not. Yeah,
they did not. Currently down 3 with 3:50 to go in the fourth quarter. So some tough minutes having to be put in by the Thunder there now on the second leg of a back-to-back. Certainly something to pay attention to there. When it comes to positional breakdowns, overall our top price players on the slate: Anthony Davis 10-4. We'll see. SJ at 10-3, LeBron 10-2. Again, we'll find out. The only 3 players up over $10,000 on a 10-game slate is kind of interesting. Could get some fair and balanced builds here, especially given the injury news that is going to likely impact this slate throughout the day. But going to the point guard position, we do have SGA at home against the Rockets at 10-3. DeJounte Murray at $9,800. This is a questionable or probable tag on him.
The back.
Questionable with back soreness, which makes sense because he has carried the Hawks over these last couple of games here.
Don't look, John. Don't look.
I know. What?
Don't look, I said.
Don't look at what? The win over Boston?
Well, yeah, the back injury is a direct correlation, you know? Him and Vic Krejci.
Vic Krejci, 16 actual, yeah. Well, the Celtics are in cruise control at this point. Brunson at 94 against Toronto. Halliburton at $9,200. Those are your top 4 price point guards. I don't know what Jalen Green's got to do to get into the 9K range, but we'll discuss him in a moment.
I don't have a problem with really anybody. Houston on the road here now. This is obviously a different Houston team. 9 wins in a row. The only team in the NBA that has a double-digit win streak this year is Boston, and they've done it twice. Imagine Houston is the only other team to do it. I mean, that'd be kind of surprising, I would say. Like, they're not even technically a playoff team right now. So that would be a little bit surprising, but no problem getting SGA. I've mentioned it a couple times, but Houston's been playing really fast in the second half of the year. I think that's in large part due to the Şengün absence. Just Şengün's a lumbering dude. Yeah. So
do they have Jabari for this one? Jabari's been hurt.
I think
too,
he's
right?
still he's suspended. I think he's still suspended. No, he's back. He's back for this game. It was Dunn that had the 2-game suspension. He had the one.
Okay.
I would love getting to DeJounte here. If we could. He had 40 actual in this game when they met. And like, they're in the play-in and want to stay there and are playing. Like, look at the minutes in competitive games for DeJounte Murray. He's playing 40 minutes. And the shots have been great. The assists have been nails.
Dude.
Nails in pretty much every department. So
killer FanDuel line, pretty much.
Killer FanDuel line. And you've talked about this, like, where we've had a couple times here and there without Trey, and you've always been like, where's the DeJounte we had in San Antonio? Well,
he's here.
It's hard. It's hard to do when Trey's there, right? Because Trey's scoring 30 a night and like so ball dominant. It's not. We see like you said, he's here. No Trey. So love the 9,800. If you think Toronto has a chance to stay competitive, I mean, again, Josh Hart, Miles McBride, DiVincenzo played 40 minutes. Yeah. And DiVincenzo coming off another insane game and all this good stuff. But guess what?
Yeah. They're protecting the dude they gave all the money to.
Yeah, 30 minutes. And was he great in those 30 minutes? Yes. Do they need him for anything more? No. So, and then Halliburton. This isn't Tyrese Halliburton's team anymore, John. It is Pascal Siakam's team with a bullet lately. If you want to get to Halliburton, he's making threes again.
The threes are coming around again. I mean, it feels like, he gave you 62 against Golden State, right? So it's in the bag for him there. But $9,200, $9,400, 98, or Jalen Green at $8,900 down here.
Yeah.
Like this whole. Now, again, it's the Thunder. Good team. They are on the second leg of a back-to-back here. They're on the road tonight. They're at home for this game, so they are traveling. So all of those things have to sort of at least be considered here. But Jalen Green is just something has clicked. It was not a great shooting night against Portland, and we'll get to Portland in a moment. Jesus.
Yeah.
But dude, Jalen Green, $8,900 shooting guard, point guard eligibility. Van Vliet's down here at 84. Obviously didn't have the same game, but recently he's had some big time performances. If you think this is competitive and high scoring and fast paced, both Houston guys are going to very much be in the conversation here.
Dude, Jalen Green did nothing in the first half and then just went nuclear in the third. Van Vliet was in foul trouble the entire night. He played like 10 first half minutes because he had 3 fouls. And then had 2 second half fouls, had 5. So, yeah, I'm good with either of those guys. I don't think you can really get to much else in that tier. Like, the Clippers are fading. If you want to play Maxey in a tournament, it's fine. But it's not.
Yeah, not at the price given who's around there. Yeah.
And then it's just like, if someone sits for the Lakers, like if LeBron or Anthony Davis sit, I think you have to consider Reeves and Russell, and maybe both, because
they're about to go to double overtime, by the way. D'Angelo Russell has one more free throw to make it 117 all with 3 seconds left. So there's a shot we get double OT here, and all those guys are playing 50 minutes.
And maybe double, triple doubles in that case. Russell's 3 rebounds away from a 20-point triple double that Austin Reeves already has. And oh, by the way, AD has a 30-20 game. So like, if there's no LeBron or vice versa, like, or no AD, I mean, you could probably just, again, load up on Reeves Russell against Memphis. I know second leg of a back-to-back after all these minutes, not the best, but clearly shorthanded Lakers, shortened rotation to begin with because they need a playoff push. They can do some damage here.
Sure. Garland 74, Levert's up here, basically the same price, 73. Kobe White at 72. Eamon Thompson's up to 7K. I mean, I don't think I'd pay that for him.
No, I don't think so either.
Jordan Poole, Io Schroeder. Like, what are your thoughts in the mid-tier range?
You could definitely play the Cleveland guys. Strus did pop up in the injury report as questionable, so he is closing on a return. They're both point guards are fine. Kobe White back in the starting lineup, 20 shots against Washington, just couldn't make anything. That has been the story of Kobe White for the month of March. He has not been making shots pretty much for the last 2 weeks. And I don't know if it's just him dealing with injuries that are just slowing him down, or not being this accustomed to playing this much late in the year. So, I mean, tournament's only a good matchup. Jordan Poole really let me down the other night. He had such a fast start. He had 10 points in 2 minutes and then had 3 fouls the next 3 minutes, and basically didn't play for the rest of the first half, which crushed me because he had the team to himself. And now Washington's has Kuzma and Denny Avdia off the injury report because Denny was a late scratch. We love Denny, and then suddenly
we did,
he was out. So Jordan Poole tournaments only. Do we have? I think Cam Thomas is questionable. Dennis Schroeder has really, really good numbers without Cam Thomas this year. 37 minutes, 19, 7, and 5. Very solid, really good matchup, obviously, against Washington. I'd be okay getting to Schroeder. Dude, the Portland.
What do we do?
The Portland situation is just dude, every number says play Scoot Henderson. And obviously data is what data is. But dude, 35% usage rate, almost 1.4% use fantasy points per minute without all these guys. He just cannot stay out of foul trouble. 5 fouls in 25 minutes. The Denver game, 5 fouls in 28 minutes. And then you have this going on while Delano Banton has the
39 minutes off the bench, 11 of 21 from the floor. 28, 11, 5, 2, and 1 for Delano freaking Banton.
Dude, it is crazy. He was 4% and Scoot Henderson was 50%. And someone in Discord asked you'd rather play Scoot over Peyton Pritchard the other day, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I like Peyton Pritchard, but all the data suggests Scoot Henderson is just has the ceiling, and I don't think anyone would debunk that, and you live with it. But now we have to deal with that. Not only is Scoot Henderson with all these great numbers, now his counterpart has done this 5 times.
Dude, he had a 52-43 on March 8th and 9th just 2 weeks ago. 46 fantasy points last week in a game against the Pelicans, and then 56 fantasy points here. If he's playing 35 plus minutes, he's got a legitimate chance the way he fires right now. And he's not missing. He's for the most part, he went 11 of 21 while only going 2 of 9 from 3. If any of those more shots were threes, he might have had a 70 fantasy point game. Now, we've talked about this for months. End of the season NBA, a guy like Delano Banton becomes a DFS hero, right? This is just what happens to these guys who get these opportunities. But at some point, you're also paying $6K for Delano Banton. So, I feel like I would rather play Dennis Schroeder if there's no Cam Thomas over Delano Banton at 6K.
Yeah.
But that might be the wrong answer, right?
Like I still feel like the numbers are what they are, right? When Scoot stays out of foul trouble, he has an insane ceiling.
Yeah.
When Delano Banton makes shots, he has an insane ceiling. We saw Chris Murray playing upper 30s minutes in these games that Delano Banton didn't. And then Delano Banton doesn't miss shots, and then Chris Murray's back to low 30s, and it's a very hard thing
Fragile
to navigate.
Ecosystem, you know?
Yeah, well, it's like at this point, Chauncey's just trying to keep people on the floor that are making shots, right? So, I mean, both Portland guys just have to be in play if they're gonna both play. I mean, they're just so hurt.
And then you have a guy who also doesn't come off the floor in Miles McBride. 43 minutes. He got a little bit more rest in this game because they were up 124-99. But 47, 44, 48, 43 in regulation the last 4 games for McBride here. He's $5,600. Again, I don't see a reason to really play any other 5K guard if McBride is 56 playing 40 plus minutes. I mean, maybe Dinwiddie if like everybody is out tomorrow because they're in double overtime right now.
I know.
You know, so like if it's Dinwiddie by himself, maybe, or Dinwiddie and LeBron, $4,900. You know, Sasser played 34 minutes. Like he's fine, but I'd rather spend $400 more to play McBride if I had to pick one. Like, what are your thoughts on the under 5K guards? Is there one that stands out to you? Do you go back to the Vit Krejci-well? You know, like.
I mean, I don't hate the Vit Krejci-well. I don't hate the Scottie Pippen well either at 52. He played really well again the other night, 25 fantasy points in 26 minutes against Denver. He's been really good on a fantasy point per minute basis. I can't really get to Sasser. I mean, Sasser was really good against the Knicks the other night, and I say really good from a fantasy perspective only. Yeah. Like he didn't make any shots, but he had 10 free throws. Cade's questionable again, so if there's no Cade, I would consider getting to Sasser. You can play Krejci. I think the Krejci thing would be much more interesting if Murray ends up sitting, because then he's already starting, but like what is he being asked to do then? Like then it's
maybe he shoots more.
Yeah, then we're talking about even more. So I don't think I think you're pretty much correct. Yeah, I mean Toronto could like throw a wrench into things and start Kobe Simmons, who they signed to a 10-day. He played 17 minutes in his debut. He's stone cold min. I'm not saying they will. I'm also just saying at this point it's Toronto and anything is possible. That's what Kevin Garnett taught us. So if that were to be the case, $3,000, if he's like randomly started, I wouldn't hate it.
In case you're wondering if there's any tired legs in Los Angeles, Milwaukee, they haven't hit a bucket yet in the second.
Yeah, they have not. I know.
2 minutes ago, they've gone 3 minutes without scoring a basket. So
someone's sitting for the Lakers. I don't know. What do we know?
Neither team has scored in the double OT yet. So, all right, shooting guard Anthony Edwards is 97 against Detroit. We'll see if he suits up or not. He is listed as questionable, but as we always talk about, for the most part, this dude just plays. You know, so great spot against Detroit, certainly would be. George 85. We talked Jalen Green already. Desmond Bane suiting up here at $7,900.
If there's ever a game for Memphis to like be competitive in, it's the game against the team that just played their starters 50 minutes. So, dude, he just hasn't made shots. I don't know what else to say. He just hasn't made shots. If one of these games before the end of the year, Desmond Bane's too good to just keep missing shots, and he's going to get like 40 actual, and it'll be like,
yeah,
right, that's the guy.
Agreed. A lot of these other guys we have talked about. Mikal Bridges is 71. DiVincenzo coming up with a monster game.
I can't believe you even said Mikal Bridges' name.
Well, there's maybe no Cam Thomas. So
yeah, there was no Cam Thomas last game.
Well, yeah.
Look at the dude.
No,
dude. It is just no offense to Mikal Bridges. Shout out to him.
I hear you. DiVincenzo,
dude,
gave you the random 40 spot, but now 31 and 40 in the last 2 games for him. He's playing the minutes, like you said. If Brunson is going to be limited because of these blowouts, and they're going to play DiVincenzo, we know what DiVincenzo has done with Jalen Brunson off the floor this year. He has just been a flamethrower. So, like, 13 and 23 point attempts the last 2 games. If he's going to play 11 more minutes than Jalen Brunson on average here, yeah, I take the discount, right?
Yep. And he's going to be, just for everyone's knowledge here, he's going to be popular. And so are the Knicks. The Knicks were extremely popular tonight. And I realized, I'm like, when I saw Thibodeau playing these dudes up 30 in the fourth quarter, and they had been up 30 all game. So it wasn't like they just got up 30. I was like, yeah, we just have to play Knicks because other than Jalen Brunson, they're all playing 40 minutes, and it's just something we have to accept.
Yeah, I agree with you. Other guys in the mid-tier, Bogdan would be super interesting.
Yeah, he would.
If there's no Murray here. I mean,
yeah, he wouldn't come off the floor.
He would lead the team in shot attempts, 100%.
Yep. While not coming off the floor.
Well, he played 40 against Boston, so yeah, he might see an extra 8 in this game against Portland. Like him anyways, would love him if DeJounte does not play. After that, Gary Trent keeps playing, shooting. Took a little bit of a step back, but would be willing to run back. For him, we talked Banton, Ivy. I don't like him too much. What's your next play? Where do you go? Grady Dick, Norm Powell. Let's see with Dinwiddie, I guess.
I would say. Did we get? I saw the Gary Harris news. Cole Anthony 4,400 would be a little bit interesting. Okay. He started the second half for Orlando in that game. Played really, really well. 2 of the last 3, he's played really well. We know his ceiling. $4,400 could be a good influx of offense for them. Freeman Liberty, I don't know why he's only shooting guard now, but he was really good the other night. An extended run, 29 minutes, 25 fantasy points. Now double-digit scoring in 2 of his last 3. If he started at point guard at 4,100, I would have interest. That's probably
Does Lonnie Walker get a bump?
Dude, no,
it does not play.
He was 50% rostered. And I tried to tell everyone in the Discord, he has already been cut out of the rotation pre Cam Thomas injury. It's just, oh no.
Got 21 minutes for Ben Shepherd.
Yeah, he plays. I think the Neesmith injury.
He started. It started for Neesmith. So.
Yeah, the Neesmith thing, and Neesmith is questionable. So, I mean, if we could see a scenario where Shepherd starts again. I don't think I'd get there, but I'd understand it if you needed the savings. Okay.
Small forward. We'll see if LeBron's in or out. 10-2. We talked Paul George, Kawhi 84, DeRozan 84. Then you mentioned earlier, Pascal Siakam. A couple of good games here lately, back-to-back 30 actual pointers.
Yeah, dude, he's been awesome. The only 38 fantasy points was kind of a tilt on a game where he scores 31 actual, but yeah. 38 fantasy points now in 8 straight or higher, or in 8 straight games. The only qualms I have is the minutes. Again, we're getting into another guy that's kind of been limited for no reason. Indiana is playing for playoff position. Why is he not playing more? Sure. Why is Pascal Siakam? And Indiana's been pretty good. They lost to the Lakers, but in a game that he has 36 and 12, why are you playing Pascal Siakam 33 minutes?
Right.
That would be my only, he's averaged 33 minutes on the year, which means you've seen obviously a decrease from his time from Toronto to Indiana. That would be the only downside, and why I might even play someone like a Josh Hart over Pascal Siakam, who once again triple-doubled.
Yep. Second time in 3 games.
Dude, it's just
playing 40 minutes.
Denver game aside, which in the elevation.
We kind of talked about that as well, right? That wasn't our favorite spot for him.
And Denver.
Yep.
You can click on Josh Hart and just feel good about it because he's just this good from a fantasy perspective when he's playing 40 minutes a night.
Yep. I do like Denny here again. If he was to, he looks like he's fine. He's not on the injury report. There's no illness. Would certainly be willing to play Denny at 72.
Yep.
Franz Wagner down to $6,400.
He's been so disappointing, dude.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he. I'm not saying he. Yeah, it's a great price. It's a great price
against Golden State on a back-to-back.
Yeah, we're gonna get ceiling Franz soon. But
you get GG here at 62, Hunter at 59 in that same range.
Yeah, all three of them should see plenty of shot opportunities. All will start. All will play big minutes.
Low 5Ks: Kispert, Anderson, Agbaji, Wiggins, Dick, that whole crew there. Agbaji of the night, 30 minutes, another 20 plus fantasy points for him. Grady Dick, as we mentioned earlier, not his best shooting performance, but playing 33 minutes. Kispert, $5,400, 39 minutes, 6 of 18, 40 fantasy points, and a double randomly for Kispert here. So some guys we've been testing the waters with lately in the 5K tier.
Yeah, I'm okay with some or all of them. None. I don't know if any of them are like priorities for me. Tumani Kamara, 4,500 is a guy you can save some money from those other ones. 21, 28, or 21, 38, 25 fantasy points. Jake LaRavia was terrible the other night, but he has been pretty consistently playing big minutes. Another guy that struggled in Denver, so LaRavia is fine. Chris Murray, 31 minutes was okay. The production, not so much, but 2 for 11, took 6 threes again. Like I'm perfectly fine going back to the well if he's going to play 30 plus minutes.
Yep.
And who knows if it's not more. If Delano Banton doesn't go 50 of 55 from the floor with 37 rebounds and 27 assists, maybe Chris Murray sees like mid to high 30s minutes. So I'd be willing to go back to the well there. I think Marcus Morris got thrown out of that game. Garrison Matthews. I wonder what I'm assuming if Murray were to sit, it would be Trent Forrest, I guess, would be your starting point guard. Crutchy, maybe Garrison Matthews starts, and I don't know, but I was just looking to see if the random Garrison Matthews like blow up the other day too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that one. Power forward. Banchero 87, Kuzma 80.
Oh, one more, Jalen Wilson, small forward only, 3,400. He started. He was good. He started in place of Cam Thomas and Cam Johnson. Do we have Cam Johnson news?
He's gonna miss the next two, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Johnson's out. Thomas questionable. So Wilson should start regardless, right? Because he was
starting. Was he starting for?
He
started for Thomas. Looks like he started for Thomas.
Okay, we'll see. Yeah. Well, if he's in the starting lineup, $3,400, I'd go back to the well for sure.
Okay. Mentioned power forward again at the top. There's Banchero. A lot of guys we've talked about already. Miles Bridges at 79. Paolo at 87. It's fine. Again, it's not a terrible matchup for him. He's had some pops lately. He had a triple-double against the Pelicans. I won't get there, but he's probably going to be a low tournament play. Yep. Nas at 68. Pretty good.
Nas at 68 is a good one. Yeah. The only thing is he didn't close. He played like 2 fourth quarter minutes the other night, and they closed with Kyle Anderson over him. Just keep that in mind.
Sure. Aldama played 31 minutes, another 30 fantasy points. Could have a really good matchup here. What's going on in that game? 126, 124. Lakers got the ball up 2, so that game's probably over here.
Yep.
Talk about Hachimura. Certainly could be one of the lone Lakers active for that game. Draymond's here at 63. For a large slate, a lot of these guys we talked about, what did Metu end up doing? Just 16 minutes in that game. Huh?
He didn't start.
Yeah.
Didn't even start. Randomly just decided to go back to Tosan as a starter.
Got 20 minutes for Noora here. Would you go Tosan if he started?
Probably not.
Okay.
It's like the most unappealing spot maybe ever created to man. Just
Finney Smith at 44.
He scored. I was like shocked. He scored the first 7 points of the game the other day. He finished with 11, but he had 7 going into the fourth quarter. I was like, first 7 points, I was like, wow, 8% Dorian Finney-Smith going to break the slate when Jalen Wilson and Lonnie Walker are 50% owned, and then he like never scored again. I was like, oh, we didn't really miss out on anything. Did you see Jalen Jalen Smith got benched the other day again as the backup for Isaiah Jackson, and then was once again the backup. So you just can't. It's just we're officially in can't trust it season with Carlisle. So I'm staying away at all costs. Jeff Green did not start, and Jock Landale absolutely obliterated the slate the other day. So can't really go back there, dude. There was ever a time that we should have played. Yeah, okay. Here they had him on. I mean, like, it's hard. How do I say
23 minutes. He took 13 shots. He was 10 of 3, 25, 7, and 2 and 1. This is we're so close. We're so close.
23 minutes and 13 shots are like as good as it's probably
if Orlando
was
ramping him up, right? I mean,
what is your honestly like your playoff lineup? If he's getting if this is a ramp up, like he's just gonna replace Wendell Carter, and then their front court is just gonna be insane. Franz, Bencaro, John Isaac, like that's an insane front. Because I assume like
I could see a split with Wendell Carter. They both play 24
right.
minutes, right?
Right. I'm just saying more
they
so.
They can't let him play 30 right now.
No, of course. I'm just saying more so. Like you're closing halves and games with Isaac over Carter. Like
he's too versatile. He can do too
much. Yeah, because you're in Orlando's so good defensively already, but like, dude, they're switching everything. It's like Boston can switch everything because you have Drew that can literally guard 1 through 5, and then Porzingis.
Al Horford shut down Kyrie Irving last year.
Yeah, and Horford. So but that's kind of what Orlando would have with a ramped up Isaac at end of games, where they can switch anything, and you're like, yeah, that's good. I'm good because like we have one of the best perimeter defenders in Jalen Suggs, and then we have this madman that now can play.
People don't. I feel like you and I have been doing this for so long that we remember the rookie Jonathan Isaac entering the league. Like we knew what this guy was going to be like coming out of Florida State. We were excited for him, and we saw the glimpses and the hope and the growth, and then he got hurt, and then he pushed himself.
Literal growth, by the way. He literally grew in the middle of his NBA career.
Yeah, grew height-wise.
Yeah.
And then he got hurt, and he pushed himself with the injury in the playoffs for them.
Yep.
And missed 3 years, what feels like, trying to work his way back. Dude, this dude is a stud.
He's a really good basketball. He's a very good basketball player.
He's just like a freak size, athleticism, everything about it. And he was one of our favorite players. And we're just kind of happy and excited to kind of have him back on and playing some basketball here. So, 4K, I would definitely be willing to play him here. But, Golden State on a back-to-back against dude, if you Agreed. The problem is we're gonna load him up and he's gonna play the random 6 minutes or 8 minutes, but I say that as a half joke. He's been playing 18, 16, 19, 20, 20 random 8-minute game here against Charlotte, 16, then 23. Do
you think he's popular? Because I could see a scenario where he first couple runs of ownership.
Yeah, if game slate, he's 4K coming off 45 fantasy points.
45 fantasy points. Dude, he is and
if people realize that that's not a fluke, that's kind of what his game can be, then
yeah.
Was that do you think that had anything to do with Gary Harris out? Because they can shift Franz to the 2.
Yeah, it's a big lineup. No, because Cole Anthony started the second half and played 30 plus minutes. So I don't think could it have? Wendell Carter played 22 minutes in that game.
Yeah, Suggs played 35, so he was on the floor the whole time.
Wagner played 13, and technically Carter played 23, right? So that's 36 minutes. Isaac played 12 minutes at center. Right. Yeah. It just based on they didn't play Goga at center. Mm-hmm. They don't give Paolo center minutes. That would be, I feel not great against Sabonis.
Yeah.
They give him Isaac 12 which is also good because that also means he played 11 minutes at the power forward. So they're actually just like getting used to him playing multiple positions again.
And we saw this earlier this year, if you remember, against San Antonio, when I had like the Wendell Carter prop going.
True.
And they took Wendell Carter off Jr. off the floor, and they played Isaac on Wemby to close out the game. Like that was their finishing five. It was Isaac at the 5 against Wembanyama. So, which makes a whole lot of sense, but yeah, because he's great. Anyways, we just spent like 20 minutes talking about Jonathan Isaac for a good reason, because he's 4K and a great player. Anybody else for you at power forward?
Once again, your boy Jabari Walker played 26 minutes. If you want to get to him, I mean, that's what it's going to be, right? He's going to play mid-20s minutes, and there's like kind of upside, kind of not. Pokashevsky played only 19 minutes this game, but 27 fantasy points. The less he plays, the better. Apparently, he'll give you more fantasy production in those scenarios. He's
another fun player to watch.
Yeah. If you guys haven't guessed, we like 6'11" athletic freaks of nature, because that's both those players are. Trendon Watford was really interesting the other day. Again, I think this is a depth issue. But like, dude, Trendon Watford has kind of been a fantasy point per minute guy all year. And if you look, he is a fantasy point per minute guy on the season. 5 fouls in 21 minutes that he took 10 shots, had 19 points and 7 rebounds. I mean, like, he is actually a guy that is extended and puts up. I mean, look at every single game that he has been extended in this year. He has given.
What was the case for him playing these minutes, though?
No Cam Johnson, no Cam Thomas.
Okay.
They also like no Bates Diop, which is smaller scale. Sure. But they're going like younger. Like they gave Clowney 20 minutes off the bench, right? They didn't really play Day'Ron Sharpe again. So I think that there's just like a no Dennis Smith Jr. and they cut Lonnie Walker out, right? Like they're shorthanded and just trying things. So just throwing it out there. Like he was really popular upon first ownership run, and then things fell off, and then everyone pivoted to other Brooklyn guys, as we mentioned, with Jalen Wilson starting. But just throwing it out there, he has been pretty much elite as a fantasy producer every time he's extended.
Okay. Again, I don't think Anthony Davis will play here, but he's 10-4 against Memphis. If he does play, I mean, it would be a good matchup, but I would even be worried, I think, after playing 50 minutes tonight to get to
Was it officially 50? 52. You shorted him 2 minutes. 52.
I don't know if he plays a back-to-back here.
They won that
game. I know. They came back. Vucevic did 9 points, not great, but 16 rebounds against Washington in that game. He's got the Pacers here with Kuzma, as we talked about earlier. You can run that if you wanted to. Triple J gets the Lakers matchup. It could be Jaren Jackson Jr. against Jackson Hayes here in this matchup. So that would certainly be appealing at $8,200. Jared Allen against Charlotte, $8,100 for him. 17, 13, and 4. That game had Mobley. So, definitely a great spot for centers if you're willing to bet on some Jared Allen. If not, you go down to the mid-tier. Olynyk at 72. Nas, Jabari. Like, what are your thoughts in the mid-tier range?
A little indifferent. Jabari's had a lot of success against OKC, but obviously a different matchup, and because he has been playing power forward in all those matchups. Right now, how does he fare against Chet? That's a little bit different. On the defensive end, he does no longer has a size advantage over like Jalen Williams, who's a 6'6" power forward. I know Jalen Williams has.
You did mention the rebounding advantage there that they struggle with. Nothing like too gaudy from the rebounding numbers for the Pelicans, but we did see Jabari put up a good run of double-digit rebound games there earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I think OKC understands it. It's not something that like their head coach has talked about it, right? Yeah. Their head coach has come out and said like, hey, like we kind of stink on the glass. So yeah,
he had 25, 9, and 4 in 31 minutes, by the way, on Tuesday, because you can never figure out the Giddey minutes.
I'm moving on. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Miles Turner was really good the other day, but just the minutes seemingly, dude, it's like, can he just not? Is it a cardio thing? Is it because I mean, he's been super good for like 3 straight games, and it's 27, 28, and 26 minutes with like limited foul trouble in any of those. Nick Claxton and Clint Capella both, I think, are in pretty good spots. Like Claxton, 9 points. I don't think you'd like if there's guys out like Cam Thomas out, I think you'd get an increase in shot attempts from Claxton, but 16 rebounds is good to see. Capella's obviously gonna play a bunch of minutes.
Wiseman broke some hearts early and then picked it up in the second half of that game. So
dude, he's just good. He's just a really good fantasy point per minute guy. So like I know it's a really tough spot. I probably stay away, but it's a
where's our guys here? Holmes 4,700.
He went nuclear again, started over Bagley again.
Yep.
Jock started. I don't think they would go the double like Jock Jabari front court, but I wonder.
Where is he? Why am I missing
54 Jock?
Okay, that's why he's higher. 32. So if he's starting, I mean, you definitely want to give him.
He probably doesn't just with Jabari back, but just had to mention it.
If Ayton's out, would you play Reith?
Yeah, foul trouble really bit him in the ass in that game.
Status here questionable.
if
Obviously, if Ayton, we'd have some interest there.
Everyone else is out, but DeAndre Ayton is questionable, right?
Yeah. Jalen Duran is, by the way, is probable for this game. So.
Probable. Okay, so no Weissman unless there's a downgrade.
Gobert questionable, so it could have no Rudy for this one.
He's also been. They are playing through all these questionable tags. Like all these Minnesota guys have been just playing through all the Fernando played another 19 minutes, 20 fantasy points. Like I don't think we need to go there, but
you'd play Jackson Hayes, I would imagine, if there's no DD.
Yeah, he was good earlier in the year, and now there's no Christian Wood to like usurp him, which he didn't. But they were even using Jackson Hayes alongside AD in the first half of that game. And I don't think we need to go anywhere else. I think there's, again, Noah Clowney did play 21 minutes for what that's worth.
Starting our lineup with Jonathan Isaac here.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
We like kind of a fair-ish, balance-ish build because we don't know LeBron's status. So, because we would plug LeBron for sure if there's a LeBron solo team.
Yeah, if people sit.
We wanted what DiVincenzo probably here. What else are we doing? Where was our value outside of Isaac on this slate? What do we like? Rashawn Holmes at center.
Rashawn Holmes has been really good, dude. If he's gonna start, I think Cam Thomas news is obviously pretty huge, but front court Brooklyn news is pretty solidified. Finney Smith is going to start, play big minutes if you wanted to go there. Portland obviously is a interesting case because they're.
You still believe in Scoot, so
I'm just saying, like in general, they have a bunch of different. There's a bunch of different options that
plug Deuce in here, McBride.
Yeah.
Small forward 81.
Or if you wanted to, maybe even save some money on McBride if you wanted to and play Cole Anthony at 44. But we actually don't know the Gary Harris status, so I'd take that. DeJounte 98.
Yeah, that's fine.
If he plays,
yeah. Hart 76 and 7K.
DiVincenzo.
I got 3 Knicks. They're going to play 40 minutes no matter what. So
Nas
68 against Detroit.
Yeah.
McBride, DiVincenzo, Hart, Isaac, Holmes, DeJounte, Finney Smith, and Naz Reid. Of course, if LeBron James ends up being ruled in and everybody else gets ruled out, we would probably make a way to get him in the lineup. We'll be back live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Dylan Clemens has your playbook for this 10-game main slate. Till then, everybody, we'll see you later.